Hi, welcome to another video with me. Today we're gonna talk a little bit about the fear of being seen. I think most of you, like me, have this feeling of like wanting to do something, but then not 100% sure about whether we want to do it or not, or we worry about what people will think about us, the people that are close to us, how they would think that it might be a funny thing to do the things that you want to do, or like you just feel like an imposter trying to do something that you have never done before, or you actually tried but it feels like there's just too many challenges and you're like just it's okay, maybe this is not meant for me. Stop right now. Today, at this current point of time, I have 38 followers, which is basically nothing in this YouTube world. But I'm very excited and happy because every video, not every, but I realized that ever since I started posting some videos, that there are actually people who watch the videos and commented on the videos. So people actually enjoy watching my videos. So I want to tell you, if you feel like, nobody cares about what you say, probably, but I'm pretty sure that out there's 8 billion people in the world. I'm sure somebody might resonate with what you actually have to say. And so, for the longest time, I've been talking like this for a really, really long time. But I have always done it on my Instagram stories. And the reason why I chose to talk on my Instagram stories is because it's only for 24 hours, or I can just delete it. Or yeah, I can just remove it and no one will ever know. Similarly, for YouTube, you can also do the same. You can post and you can delete it if you're not satisfied. But maybe what we really need to think is, why are we afraid of being seen? And what is it that we are expecting? Like, is our own expectations too high for ourselves, considering that we might just be a small little beginner, but we are comparing ourselves with people who have already put in all the consistency and hard work and everything. So it's totally a different kind of comparison, right? So anyway, today I've already done my nails like by myself, like this hand, and then for this hand I've done 2 fingers, so left with 3 fingers to do the cat eye thing. So as I talk, I will paint my nails as well. Okay, so yeah, I think a lot of times, right, we actually need to manage our own expectations. And also it's true that usually when you are, for example, for me, for the longest time that I share these kind of things on Instagram stories, nobody really watched it or nobody really engaged with it, because most of the people that watched it are people that I know. That's one thing. And secondly, they probably have heard me talking about such things for a really long time. So it's like, what's new? This girl is always talking about the same things, right? And then at the same time, on Insta stories, I think people just like to like scroll and just swipe it away. So not everyone is really engaged at that point of time to be listening to what you have to say. Whereas for YouTube, you can save it to watch later, or like, you can go back to your history to see what you have watched, and maybe you can continue at a different time or something like that. Yeah, and so it's a totally different platform, right? So sometimes I guess we try to convince ourselves that it doesn't work, because maybe if it works, it also means that a lot of things in our lives have to change, and that is a scary thing, right? I think that's quite scary. I mean, and that goes back to the fear of being seen. If all along you try to be a good person, try to present a good side of you, and you might be overly concerned with how people actually think about you. So you think how people might think about you, or you think how they think about you. Wait, let me think. Yeah, right. So basically, it's just a thought. So, for example, today I was quite tired from the volunteer work, right? Which is doing all the 3D stuff, kind of volunteer work. And after that, when I was about to board the bus, I was just really very tired. I didn't really think about anything much. But the lady in front of me, she was carrying this like trolley thing. So she was trying to pull the trolley up to the what's it called? The bus. And I don't know why I didn't realize that she was actually struggling with the trolley. And I was holding my laptop and my bag on the other hand. And I was just really like very sleepy. So I was like in a daze. And I was like, okay, so the lady in front of me is like trying to pull her thing up. And then another lady, I think it's her own daughter, just came in front and helped to lift up the trolley. At that point of time, I was so embarrassed in that sense, because to me it was like, why did I not help this lady? And then when I went up the bus, I just had this feeling that, people might think that I'm such a unhelpful and unkind person for not helping that lady pull up the trolley up the bus. But in reality, I really didn't notice, and I really wasn't present. I was somewhere else. And then I was thinking to myself, why do I have to beat myself up so hard for something that I genuinely didn't notice? And so I think that goes down to the fear of being seen. So you just want to always make sure that you're seen in a proper kind of way, and try not to disappoint people's expectation of you, even though you could be just a stranger. Yeah. Sometimes we're quite strange, right? I mean, it's funny now that we talk about it, but a lot of times we do these kind of things like unconsciously, and then we compare ourselves with other people, like, how come they can do this? How come they can do that? A lot of times, those people who, I'm not saying that, I think they don't really think so much. They really just believe in themselves, and I know it's very difficult to say don't think so much, because obviously I cannot do that, and I also didn't know, but I only recently realized that there are people that can control not thinking, which I find it very amazing, because most of the time I'm like having like this internal dialogue with myself. So yeah, so apparently people can stop their thoughts. So in case you feel offended by people telling you to don't think so much and to stop thinking, it could really be possible that they can do that and they expect that you could do it too. But apparently there are many different types of people with different types of brains. So some of us can control and some of us can't. But I would say, in that sense, maybe you cannot stop thinking, but maybe you can zoom out and look at what you're actually thinking. And then from there, you create a kind of self-awareness of what you're actually thinking, and you can adjust what you're thinking. I think that's one thing that we can try for a start. Yeah. And yeah, so basically the fear of being seen, I don't know, one day I just decided that, basically like 3 days ago, I decided that, hey, you know what? I'm just going to use my YouTube channel and just say whatever I want. Not to make things fancy, not to try to impress anybody, just to talk. Because I'm an external processor, I need to talk to be able to hear myself. I'm not sure if you are like this too, but it gives me a lot of relief by saying things out. And sometimes in this society, we don't really have so many friends or family members that can sit next to us and listen to us talk it out, right? So I think this is one great method that you can try, just to talk to yourself, record it down if you're not comfortable showing people what you actually have to talk about, and then watch the video. I know it sounds a little bit cringe, but actually by watching yourself talk, it's actually quite a strange kind of like thing going on. You'll be like, oh yeah, why I never think about that? And it's very strange because you already said it out. Or sometimes as you're saying out, then it occurred to you like, hey, yeah, I never thought about this. So you can try it. Look at the two fingers. So yeah, maybe you can try it and see how it goes, and if it works, you can share in the comments how it feels to watch yourself talking. And cringe is part of the process. Yeah, cringe is part of the process. So a lot of times we think other people think something about us, but most of the time they are not. You know why? Because they're not free. They have more things to think about than what you have said or what you have done. You know, they probably never even think anything much about it. So, and also, if the people that are not interested in your work, then obviously your work is not for them. So, I think at the end of the day, you just need to do what you like. And I know this is also coming from a place of like privilege, because it takes time for you to discover what you like. But eventually, I think as you go older and when things become safer, which you have to proactively try to aim for to create a safe space for yourself, then only you can be able to see what you actually like slowly by trying out different things. But in the first place, you need to create your safe space. So yeah, you are not an imposter. Don't be afraid of being seen. Cringe is part of the process, and if people don't engage with your stuff or the things that you do, then they are just not the right people for you. But there will be people that will resonate with you. Okay? So that's all for today. Thank you so much for listening, and don't forget to subscribe and comment. And yeah, have a great evening. See you. Bye. Check out my nails. See. Bye.